Alright, lads, so the end of month banner for the month of May has been announced. Our next and potential final 1000-year Blood War Cannon banner until the 10th anniversary is about to happen. What are the characters going to be? Well, we potentially know, and it does seem to be Toshiro, Mayuri, and also Rangiku. Finally, we are getting a Sunsu Mayuri, Zombie Toshiro, looking kind of cool. I'm liking the artwork, and I'm very, again, curious to see how Zombie Rangiku is going to play. First impressions right now, I don't like that Toshiro's in the middle. Because does that mean he's the highlight character? No way he's the speed one. Man, they done Mayuri dirty. There is no way. So for those that don't know, one of them is going to be a limit breaker character, and it likely is Toshiro, which is kind of outrageous because he's already gotten plenty of good characters in the past. This should have been Mayuri's time to shine, and we're potentially not about to get that. But his character armor looks really cool, by the way, I gotta say. I mean, both could end up being good. Let's find out. Let's find out. So first up, Toshiro is a ranged strong attack character. All attacks can inflict freeze plus. Would have loved to have seen some potential weakening thrown in there, but that's fine. With that, though, he does have an EX move, a forward-facing super wide range attack. He does have Hollow Killer plus. His soul trait is strong attack recharge and also strong attack damage plus 20%. Overall good soul trait. Damage to frozen enemies. Bombardment plus 1. Don't know why they mentioned that, but he also does have Poise Break. However, I don't know why this skill isn't in red. It's the more special skill here. He has Soul Reaper Resonance. Now, this is quite the rare skill, but it basically means anytime there's a Soul Reaper in a lobby, he gets, or in your team, you get 10% more strong attack damage, capping out at 60%. He's guaranteed 10% because it does count for himself, and I guess in like a Guild Quest lobby, for example, or a Limit Breaker team, if you are using 2 other Soul Reapers, you can get upwards to 30% for single player content. When you take him to Epic Raids, that's when you can get the full 60%. Scrolling down though, let's see what skills this character does have. So again, he does have Hollow Killer plus. The EX description here sounds a lot more cooler. Unleashes an extremely wide range forward facing attack. So this might be very similar to Yachiro Unohana's SA3, an 1170 distant AoE in front of him. If that's the case, that's going to be very good for if that's the case, that's going to be a very good strong attack to have. And in terms of damage output here, we are looking at Frenzy plus 2, 50% Berserker, 80% more damage to enemies frozen, with an 80% spiritual pressure boost, and also 20% more strong attack damage that you can give to your entire team if they are a speed character, and then again, the potential chance to get more damage if you are using a Soul Reaper. Overall, this looks to be like some good damage. Nothing super crazy though. I would have maybe liked it the Berserker value was a tad bit higher. For Guild Quest content, it's kind of unfortunate that this strong attack damage buff is to speed characters because it does not stack with Mugetsu. But honestly, I think that's fine. Since he is a Soul Reaper, you might want to pair him with Tenjiro, and Tenjiro is going to be able to buff him. Although personally, from what I'm seeing here, especially for a character that's potentially supposed to replace Gremmy in 9th anniversary, I'm not seeing like crazy damage output that I'm inclined to summon for him instead of just using Gremmy, despite Gremmy have an attribute disadvantage for either Limit Breaker or Guild Quest content. I think overall, though, he's going to be a fun character. We're going to check out the gameplay in a minute. Seems simple enough. It's a Toshiro. It's going to be a good Toshiro. But is he a character that you need right now if you have access to Gremmy? I'm not too sure. Probably not. Probably not. Next up, we have Mayuri, though. So, melee strong attack. His SA3 is a status element trap. All attacks can inflict paralysis plus. He has Squad 0 Killer. A melee character. I don't know if I want a new Squad 0 Killer personally, but he also does have an enemies defeated bonus and then does do more damage to paralyzed enemies. So scrolling down once more, Squad 0 Killer plus. Again, that artwork looks super cool, I gotta be honest. He's a 40% recharge. He only gets 1 enemies defeated bonus. We've seen that in the past. I would have liked more here, but I guess it is a bonus stat nonetheless. Where, yeah, if you defeat 30 enemies, everyone in your team does 20% more damage. That's not too bad. In terms of the skills that he does have here, though, you know, you have Frenzy plus 3. No Berserker built into the character, unfortunately. But he does get Frenzy free in Guild Quest with the melee damage, with the killer effect. The lack of Berserker honestly isn't even that big of a deal nowadays. But with that trap SA3, with the fact that you also have an increased stat summon chance, and also 80% more damage to paralyzed enemies, he's going to be a good character for Guild Quest. But again, I think most people right now just have access to Bankai Rukia. And you know, Bankai Rukia also has Guild Quest skills, so once more, kind of similar to Toshiro. I'm not disliking this. I'm maybe expecting a tad bit more, to be fair, from these character skills. But I'm not seeing anything that's making me want to summon in replacement for the characters that I currently already have. Which, to be fair, right before the 10th anniversary, I'm honestly fine with. I think for Mayuri, though, he's going to be an overall good character, an additional good character to use in the immediate Squad 0 Guild Quests. so that isn't entirely too bad. Would have preferred though if this character got what Toshiro got. And then scrolling down, Rangiku is up next, a ranged normal attack damage character. All attacks except the SA2 can inflict Lacerate Plus. She also has Hollow Killer Plus, so that's kind of funny that they're doing this. We saw something similar during November end of month with the Christmas characters, where we had 2 characters with the same killer effect. In this case, it's kind of cool, I guess, that both Rangiku and Toshiro are ranged speed Hollow Killers. So she's just going to be the normal attack damage character of the banner, Hollow Killer Plus. Interestingly though, she has a normal attack damage boost that you do give to your entire team. So essentially, she's the Mugetsu sword trait for normal attack damage characters, but it's actually a tad bit higher at 25%. The question is though, am I ever going to use something like this? I would most so prioritize my strong attack damage characters dealing damage. But I guess what this does mean if you are using it in Guild Quest is that you are going to be able to buff your additional normal attack damage character. Since she is a Hollow Killer Plus unit, the team booster is Shunsui. So if you pair her with Shunsui, then you know you're buffing his damage output. In terms of damage though, what we are looking at here, Flurry plus 2. Also, it's kind of funny. I'm kind of liking it, to be fair. This character also has Soripa Resonance, so the idea really is to use Toshiro and Rangiku in the same team. That way, you're both buffing each other and you're both getting more normal attack damage or more strong attack damage. If you have both of these characters, both Toshiro and Rangiku get an additional 20% damage. And then again, for your third character, if you throw in Tenjiro or Shunsui, you're getting a 10% more damage. But then again, you might not even want to use Tenjiro because this character has a 30% damage output that you can give to other Soripas. It does seem like the best team going forward, potentially, to be fair. It's Gremmy though. This is what they have to do to potentially gap Gremmy. They have to have 2 characters that work well with each other. It's quite literally taking 2 characters just to beat a character like Gremmy, and they still might not even do it. They might, I don't know, there's 2 characters here. But in general, what I'm looking at here is that it's quite good, especially because she does have the increased status element chance too. Remember, both of these characters are going to have status element plus, so they can both inflict their status element, lacerate, and also freeze. A few things to note, because I'm actually very happy about this. As a ranged character, I think it's really good that she does have long reach. And finally, I was literally saying this in our most recent stream, I don't know why Guild Quest normal attack damage characters in general, have not been given the follow-up skill. Now, what this does mean is that if an enemy gets knocked onto the floor, when the enemy is on the floor, they are immune to normal attacks for some reason. Strong attacks can hit them, but for a normal attack damage character to hit them with their normal attack string when they're on the floor, they need the follow-up skill. And there are times where, you know, there's one enemy left alive, especially the small enemies, and, you know, a normal attack damage character could quickly kill them, but they have to wait for them to get back up. It's a very rare situation, but it does happen. And in general, I think follow-up is just really good for characters like this. In general, it makes them more fun. So, yeah, what we have here is 2 pretty good characters that are going to work very well together, Rangiku and also Toshiro. And we have another good character for the immediate Squad 0 Guild Quest. With that said, though, what I'm seeing here, I feel like I'm fine going without them, and maybe this is going to be a skip, which for me, I personally don't mind, because I do want to save for the upcoming 10th anniversary, and what potentially is going to happen in June. What might make me summon more is the filler pool, and what we are looking at here is a decent filler pool, to be fair. Nothing super crazy. Shinji and Kensei are also pretty good. Nice to see them fillers finally. Rangiku makes sense being him. Maybe we could have thrown in a Toshiro too. And then Kyoge and Yamamoto aren't too bad. More so Kyoge, and Yuha's kind of S. Honestly, first impressions, this is a very easy skip, and I think that's a good thing. Honestly, the only thing I would have changed thus far is made Mayuri the limit breaker character. I don't like that Toshiro is getting the spotlight once more, but, you know, Mayuri has core 3 character coming up, but I feel like this one would have been cooler to be the character of the banner, but I'm not that fussed about it. Let's check out the gameplay. Alright then, so first up we have Toshiro. Having a first look at his model. It's weird seeing this character again once more after many years. I think what's thrown me off, I think it's the black belts and stuff. I think it was like greenish turquoise last time. But again, this character's overall good. If you're a Toshiro fan, you got another good Toshiro. How greedy. How greedy of you. How greedy of Caleb to keep making Toshiro the highlight character of the battle. I'm tired. I don't mind Toshiro. Alright, it's SA1. That looks pretty good. His SA2 has the Bankai come out. That's kind of cool. Very briefly though. It looks like he just has like really good AoE in front of him. I can't make out what attack is what, to be fair. That SA1 might be a beam. That SA3 looked great. And that SA2, whenever it comes out, it just makes me feel like I'm looking at the most recent Toshiro we got. And you know, I did mention in my video when we got leaks that maybe it would have been cool if this character was in the Bankai, but then again, the last character was in the Bankai, so maybe it makes sense to just be base form, you know? But to be fair, a boost effect with him being transformed wouldn't have been too bad either. But that would have made him worse, technically, as far as content is concerned, because that SA2 wouldn't have been able to inflict stat elements. But his strong attack kit that I'm seeing here looks pretty good. Doesn't look too bad. Just right now, he's unfortunately got the same range and killer type as Grammy. What you are seeing now, though, is the potential best team for this Guild Quest phase. I still think Grammy would play faster, especially because Grammy's a premium character, and he will be featured on the 10th anniversary. So, you know, even in the potential chance Toshiro is somewhat comparable, he won't. At 1 out of 5, let's just say you have the perfect team, with Rangiku as well buffing him up. You know, you're more likely to have Grammy max transcended in the future, especially on the 10th anniversary. So that's definitely a beam forwards, which is pretty good to have. I'm liking the visuals for that one. SA2, I think that's very similar to Candice's SA1 if you played with that character. Like, it groups everyone together, and then it's a beam forwards. And then the SA3 is definitely a full screen. So that's not too bad. And then next up, we should get the Soul Bomb. Let's see it. Heartless Assault. Nice. So when he shows up. Slams. Oh, this one he's attacking Mayuri. Oh, that was cool. Oh, I like the slash. I like the slash. Going back. Because again, they did to this right out of the anime. So we have him when he first appears. I think this part. I like the transformation. And I really like the transition, to be fair. It's lacking like a final hit, though, to be fair. Okay, they're trying to do a lot. It has him show up. It has him attack. It has him transform. But I do like that final slash. Like this frame right here. If we rewind it once more. That's a really cool frame. I really like that. I really like that. So next up, surely it's Mayuri. Here we go. Look at him. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. It's a shame now he's not the highlight of the banner. I mean, him being a Guild Quest character isn't bad. It really isn't. It's just maybe Rukia's better. Look at that model, though. That looks crazy. That looks crazy. Raw. I don't think we're going to get the rainbow form, but if we can, that'd be cool. Maybe they can make a whole new character with the rainbow form, you know? Right, that might be one of the best models in the game. So again, nice to see the trap effect come back. It's one of those things that has allowed Yatsui to become a still relevant character, especially for Guild Quests. Granted, she has a lot of other good things about her, so it's not entirely just that, but the trap effect does help her. And Mayuri, he was the character that introduced it. Ooh, that is the one that's cool. The SA3 is just him shining. That's cool. I'm liking the visuals. Wait, that was the SA2. That wasn't even the SA3, huh? Okay. What's the SA3 gonna like? It's the net attack he does. I kind of remember that. That's cool. That makes sense, turning it into a trap effect. And it doesn't look to be the bad strong attack that his Safri version had. It looks just to be a potential distant area in front of him. His strong attack come out super quick. What is that SA2? That SA2 range looks insane.
But that's not all. He also has increased
then again, to be fair, this is the team here. Maybe you could actually just use both of the characters. That potentially might be the case. And I'm liking that, coincidentally, Paralysis, Status, and Trap is a yellow color. So it does just match the character's outfit, in all honesty. Yeah, so, you know, even though Ruki does exist, to be fair, they both have Status and Plus, or more so, Mayuri has Status and Plus. So you can just use both. You could potentially use this character. Oh, that's a good natural. Visually, this character is great. But yeah, you could use Mayuri, Rukia, and maybe Tenjiro. And that might actually get you a really good score. And both of them are going to be doing a lot of good damage. Constantly inflicting stars. I mean, similar to what we saw yesterday if you watched that video. Where right now the best melee Aranka team is just Esno and Bambi. And this team right here might be the best team. Mayuri, Rukia, and maybe Tenjiro. Maybe Tenjiro to buff their damage. I really like this character's visuals. I would have loved to have seen the rainbow effect somehow get thrown in here, somehow. But I'm fine with it. He looks really cool. Again, I would have preferred, personally, that he was the Toshiro of the banner, you know? Maybe it's better. Oh, look at that. Does it always look like that? It's got like spark effects on the trap effects. Did it always look like that? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. There you go, Sobom. Okay. Oh. Oh my god, no way. Hey, yo. That was a sick soul bomb. Man, that was crazy. That was cool. You know, I would have loved... Then again, that would never happen if the soul bomb just kept repeating itself. Because this is what he does to Toshiro, right? If it just kept repeating itself until, like, you decide to skip it. That would have been terrible for co-op. That's funny. Look at that. That's so cool that Caleb can, like, actually replicate scenes like this, too. And then he just slams down. I really like that. That might be one of my favorite songs of the year thus far.
Now for Rangiku.
And then last up, we have Rangiku.
Rangiku is a speed
Who would have thought this character would have came into the game? I think a lot of us were expecting her to be the normal attack damage character of the banner, especially when paired with Toshiro and also Mayuri. She's just gonna be the normal attack damage character, unfortunately, right? But then again, it's better this way. I know some people want Bankai Rose in this banner, but you know, hypothetically, if we replaced Rangiku with Rose, maybe Rose would have been a Nat character. No one wants that, right? So it is better. They turn this character into the normal attack damage character, potentially, right? Having said that, what quest are they on right now? The normal attack string comes out super fast, though. I do like the visuals for that. Really cool that the barrier is the mist effect. That's actually kind of cool. I like the look of that.
Rangiku also has the new and powerful soul trait, Team/Party, normal attack damage plus 25%.
Okay, what's the SA3 looking like, though?
The damage of her own and her allies' normal attacks and
but yeah, normal attack string comes out quite fast. And again, if any enemy like that, for example, gets knocked on the floor, Rangiku will be able to attack them. And with long reach, he's going to attack from afar. I do like that. Her SA2 having a longer than usual cooldown means that she won't spam strong attacks as much compared to other characters. Now the Lacerate, it's nice. It's nice. Toshiro's going to inflict stat augments anyway. But you know, they're both going to be able to inflict stat augments. So you're going to be able to lacerate and also freeze them. Which is kind of cool because that's what this character, the normal Rangiku, does to the soul bomb. Yeah, so Nitron's looking good.
Now for the strong attacks.
SA1 seems to be a lunge. Sorry, a beam forwards. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Her strong attacks don't matter that much, but sometimes annoying strong attacks can be annoying to deal with in guild quests. So the SA2 is like an AoE around her. Maybe that's a good thing, that when the guild quest spawns in, she'll instantly use that, I think. And at no point will she interrupt an enemy potentially. I don't know. The SA3 looks to not have the greatest range, but again, it's fine. You don't want her using strong attacks. What's the sub bomb going to be? Okay. Oh. Okay. It really is just how you use it. Again, this is the first, like, original summon for Blood War in terms of anime to a certain extent. She does absolutely nothing. This is all original. So they just did it simple, right? Pulls out the blade. It's the first time I think we hear a zombie Rangiku. I don't think she ever spoke in the anime. Maybe I'm wrong. But I like that we see her transform and activate her Shikai. It makes her a decent sub bomb, considering they literally had nothing to work with. Alright then, so let's recap the banner now that we've seen everything. So firstly, I do like the character choice. I've been a fan of the character choice since it has been leaked. Mayuri and Toshiro being in banner together makes sense. And the third character, if there was to be a normal attack damage character, it is better just to be Rangiku. Again, I already mentioned it. People wanted Rose here. Rose would have made this banner cooler, but if he ended up being a normal attack damage character, I wouldn't have wanted that way. So I am fine with Rangiku being here. And I do like Rangiku's inclusion, despite her quite literally not doing anything as a zombie. It goes to show that basically anyone can get a Blood War character at this point, even if your only appearance is looking like a zombie. It's one of the benefits that Brave Souls has over any current and potential future Bleach game, is that we really can get anyone, and we are getting anyone almost to a certain extent. I've already mentioned it in the video. The one thing I would have changed is making Mayuri maybe the ranged holo killer, That technically would have been worse on him because he's up against Grammy, but I would have preferred if Mayuri was just the character that had all the, special limit breaker stuff, the EX skill, for example. I think Toshiro getting it right now when he had an anniversary headline for part 2 is a bit ridiculous, but it's Toshiro. It makes sense. I guess he's the most popular character in the series almost. And I guess Mayuri does have a character in Core 3 happening eventually. Maybe sooner than later, given that Mayuri didn't get the spotlight in this banner. But Mayuri's going to be a good character. All 3 characters here are going to be good. They just aren't the potential best in what they want to do, technically. Again, Toshiro has the unfortunate thing of going up against Grammy, a premium anniversary character that's about to be potentially max transcended by a lot of people during the 10th anniversary. So if you are in need of a ranged holo killer, just wait for the 10th annie. And that's almost why they had to make Rangiku a normal attack damage character to buff Toshiro to make them work together. So like I already mentioned, we have 2 characters really competing against one, and Grammy still might likely come out on top. At the same time though, at the end of the day, you can't always use 2 of the characters. We've seen multiple times where 2 SP characters can be used in guild quests. So even though, Rukia exists up against Mayuri, you can use potentially both Mayuri and Rukia. That works because they do have status element plus. And at least from a visual standpoint, I'm actually very impressed with Mayuri. I think he looks really cool. Soul Bomb might be one of my favorites in the game thus far. Toshiro had a cool finisher for the Soul Bomb, and then Rangiku, again, it's just literally her activating a Shikai. I think they did as good as they could do for a character like Rangiku. Overall, though, I do think it is a skip, and to be fair, this banner has been a skip for me for months. I said, like a month ago, when we looked at the Guild Quest schedule, that no matter what May end the month is, I'm likely going to skip it. Not only is the anniversary coming up and you need like a month or 2 of saving, but I knew in advance, like, what this banner was going to offer killer range type wise, it wasn't going to be someone that I'm interested in. And for the most part, that seems to be the case. I can be fine going without these characters for like 7 months until they become fillers. Especially with the filler pool, there's no character that I really want it in, all honesty. I mean, I guess for me, Kensei would be nice because I do lack him, but there's no character that I'm in desperate need of summoning for right now. So with that in mind, I'm just going to save. I'm going to save my orbs for the upcoming June banners, and I would recommend people do the same. We're probably going to talk about that a lot over the next week or 2, but June mid-month, June end of month is better than this. I mean, we don't know the stats and skills for those upcoming banners, but, well, spoiling it, this banner is pales in comparison to what's upcoming. Especially, again, what we are potentially going to see in the 10th anniversary. So I think it's a good thing, not a bad thing, that this banner is quite the easy skip. It's nice for those that want to pull for it, but if you do miss out on these characters, you're maybe not missing out on much. Either way, let me know what you have to think about the characters in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.